This is Amnian Nights, episode 32. We are returning to the city of Athkatla, teleported back by the Adventurers Guild, having just finished pillaging the hoard of the young green dragon, whose name was Mr. Deaf.
Gaular Veiauxsinualen.
Very, very good. Yeah, very close. Very good. The next dragon will absolutely be called Bob. 100% Bob the Dragon. But yeah, we are returned and summoned to the Adventurers Guild. Let's get straight back into it.
God damn it. Yeah. Between the Discord and the Zoom. Galavexanulan, though.
Galavexanulan, yeah. So with that burst of displaced energy, you find yourselves stood out back in the Adventurers Guild with Megira looking out at you all.
Horrible way to travel.
Oh, I always feel a little bit sick after that.
I trust you have come back early or
Early?
successful?
Successful for sure. You're looking at dragon slayers.
Indeed.
Worse for wear, dragon slayers. There's close.
Oh, poppycock, we are laden with gold.
How fair
You
to
probably can't even see me behind this rug.
Are we paralyzed or can we move?
You can move.
Would you unpause?
It is not paused, but I will pause and
moving.
unpause.
Okay. Well, it is unpaused now for me.
That's weird. Then I imagine you would most likely wish to be telling Clem of your endeavours.
I'm sure he would love to hear about our endeavours.
Well, when I told him I could hear your summon, he grabbed several carafes and ran straight to the meeting room. So,
Oh, a drink.
I'm sure that's where you will find him.
Oh my god, I forgot about that bloody creature. Somebody put it out of my misery, okay?
Looks like he's been behaving better.
I give her a
Oh,
little
boy.
scratch.
Not running on its own. Good.
Yeah,
Goes
but
struts
Can I
on
get
in
through
like the
this
cock of the
door?
walk.
Can't wait. Is she coming in? Okay.
yeah, Clem sat there beaming. His feet were on the table, but he very quickly brings them off and claps. Well, do the ranks swell with dragon slayers?
I think you know the answer to that, my old friend.
Ah, well. The first time is often said to be... Of course! Success, yes?
Success indeed.
Tell me everything. Spare not a detail. Was the creature indeed green?
They were. She was?
Yeah. Super green. And could turn vaguely human. Kinda. Which I was not
Indeed.
expecting. Yeah.
There's some anatomical abnormalities about her. Forked tongue, softer skin than usual, but she was but a child, juvenile.
Textbooks and literature very often have people thinking that the beasts are all of a similar ilk. In fact, they are as varied even within their own flights as your resplendent faces before me.
Well, whatever her shape, she will terrify the locals no longer.
Tell me of the struggle. Yeah, he wants the tale, whether you want to give it in character for some inspiration or just we tell him. This could be an in character session summary.
Well, it was Obsidian that dealt the final blow. Is that right? You
Naturally.
almost choked her to death. I could hardly see from where I was standing.
It was
We
a group
made
effort
friends
from
with the
start to
necromancer.
finish.
Please,
Yes.
please. Well, I'm keen to hear the tale, but from one voice at a time. Obsidian, you were saying.
Just answering Sire. It's been a group effort, start to finish, and we had help from outside our group as well.
Oh.
Yeah, we made friends with the necromancer.
Well, why didn't you say so? A necromancer? What is he doing lurking in most woods?
Something
I'm
shady, no doubt.
Yes, you're that right there.
It was my vote to try and eliminate him, but such is life. Plus, he was
We
a
did-
slippery one. He went invisible after the dragon was slain and skulked away.
Not completely accurate. We did bargain with him for his help in exchange for an artifact he was looking for. A flail of some sort.
No, in fact, he was looking for a piece of a magical staff. But he also did have part of a magical flail, but unrelated.
And did we manage to get a hold of said flail?
I mean, he had simply one of several heads of the flail, but no, he's gone, as is that flail head, along with the Flail of Ages, I believe it was called.
Flail of Ages? Rings
Perhaps that rings a bell.
a vague bell. A bell from a town several miles away, whose song is now distant and muffled.
Of course, of course. I had hoped to take it for myself, but sadly, no such luck.
As
Tell
I
me-
said, we struck a bargain for his assistance.
Hmm? The price
I mean-
being this magical staff?
The piece he was looking for, yes. Besides, even if you had struck him down, I rather think all you would have created is a long-term enemy. This necromancer served a powerful one that would recall them back to life to continue his search time after time.
Yes,
rather
it is
perhaps,
quite possible we would have been unsuccessful.
Sounds bloody awful, if you ask me. Tell me of the spoils. Let's not be shy. Let's whip our bits out on the table, as it were.
Yeah, I am absolutely going to do that with this tall rug that I've been carrying. Just wham onto the table.
Handful
Yeah.
of trinkets and
Beautiful.
in the realm of 6,000 gold pieces or so. I'm rounding, of course, but
Stupendous. What arrangement was made with Magira when she dispatched you on this vignette?
Did we
I was
ever
on-
successfully
Recall.
remember that?
I was under the impression
Okay.
that we were to give her 10% of the coinage that we found.
10%. An outrageous sum. That tapestry, however, would look astounding in my chambers, if you would be willing.
I mean, I'm going to look at
And if
Siri, since
Magira
Siri was the one that
wishes-
wanted to.
If Magira wishes to caw about it, I'll cover the difference.
Very well. I'm not sure that any of us are particularly attached to that tapestry, so
I will be attached to it. A tapestry, you say? No. This is my new nightgown. Utterly ravishing.
I haven't even taken a moment. What does it depict?
Tells of great legends, it would seem, and will conceal even greater legends soon.
The perfect
That seems
garment
appropriate.
for you, then.
Very good. And he will take it from you, Asher, and for now hangs it. And we'll say it becomes the purple tapestry that's hanging in this room for the time being. What other joyful spoils from the day? Anything strange, wonderful? It was only a young one, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I got some teeth and claws for potion making. Super excited about that. And what did we get the acid sack? My journal isn't actually here.
No, you fucked up the sack, but you managed to get several vials.
4 vials of acid. You got. I think I put them somewhere. I think. Do you have this list? I can just copy paste it.
I want to say I made a list somewhere, but I can't remember if I wrote it down. And my journal's
I put
not
it in
here.
the. I put it in the. There we go, it's here. But yeah, in Foundry, you also got sheet of young green dragonhide, slab of young green grabbing meat, claw, eye, fat, sinew, tongue, teeth. Remember, you'll also have all these in the party inventory as well.
What would he even do with all of these things? The teeth, the claws? Do they have any use that you know?
Well, I'm making potions with them.
I see you making no potions with the claws.
Well, I had plans to
However,
grind them up and see what they did.
give you the squits, is what I imagine Ground Dragon Claw will do. However, a skilled weaponsmith would likely take those off you and turn them into lightly enchanted daggers.
Perhaps
How many did you say you
than,
got? Yes, Atticus.
Rather than grinding them, perhaps we could research their properties so that we don't destroy any unwittingly.
And I thought you were just muscle.
More than just a pretty face.
Most insightful.
When it comes to valuable goods, my brother has a particular set of interests.
The claws, typically in my experience, contain very little alchemical or magical application beyond their keen sharpness and their unwavering strength.
Well, as well as the the components from the dragon itself, we got a few magical trinkets, this gauntlet, a helmet of underwater action.
Yes, I was going to comment on your garish new headdress when you entered.
Well, actually, I was going to pass it off to someone else anyway. It's not really my style.
Not your colour, bright blue? Clashes with the tones.
Well, I was planning on affording myself some new armor anyway.
I imagine you all are going to be in the market for a bit of a glow up, I believe they call it now with this extra capital.
Let's see.
Indeed. I plan to purchase myself some plate armor, as I'm sure you can imagine. But a long-standing goal of mine.
We also discovered we could really use one of these bags. They're coming very handy when we're traveling.
Expensive, difficult to create, time-consuming. Be a good bunch and be sure to return that to Magira when you've unloaded your wares, yes?
Of course.
We'll do our best not to forget.
I will hunt you down.
Of course.
DM, will
Perhaps
you
our luck
remind
can
me?
go.
Oh,
Oh, I had an idea. I might forget it. But you go. You go. You go.
okay. DM, I know I've asked before, but does the Adventurers Guild offer any sort of banking solutions? I can't remember. Or do we need to actually go to the bank? Was that the question you were going to ask? One mind. I swear I've asked this before, but I just don't remember the answer.
There are several different counting houses in Athkatla. But yeah, you can, until you get a chance to go there, you can just... I'm not going to go, and a pickpocket steals the bag that had all your money in. You are down 8,000 gold.
That is the fear, yes. That's absolutely
no.
the fear.
We can sort a bank out. The only banking map we have is a bit snowy, but I can do something.
I was gonna suggest maybe Magira has a couple of these instead of bags, like crates that they use as a guild deposit kind of storage unit thing.
I will only entertain this notion, Gija, if you refer to it as a bag of golding.
A bag of golding.
Yes, we can say that they have a specially earmarked bag of golding if you want to store some funds here now until you have time to go to a bank.
Well,
Cool.
Is there an amount of money you're wanting to deposit? I mean, I
It's
imagine
more
you're
like
gonna do your spending first, right?
Yeah, it's more like, should we go to Tradesmeet in a couple of days? Perhaps we want to not take all our money with us. It depends how much we have left. But like, say, I don't know.
I mean,
Maybe
keep
we
killing
don't take everything.
dragons, and the weight is gonna build up. As we someone who's just dragging £100 of coinage around at all times. So yeah, we can sort of bank out.
Yeah, maybe we don't want to sell the magical items, but we don't want to carry them with us for whatever reason. I don't know. Well, I hope it was fun, but we are definitely due a rest. Perhaps a day or so to recover.
Well, don't take too long to rest. How do you feel about taking on an adult? I jest. It would be horrendous, I'm sure. In time, though, in good time. I've never seen 6 eyebrows and whatever we call those for you, Obsidian, rise so quickly at the notion. But for now, take rest, enjoy yourselves, play with your new toys, commission your wares, and don't be strangers, yes?
Sounds good to me, Glenn.
To us.
Cheers.
I need some food.
Obsidian chap,
Mhm.
stay a moment, will you? Don't worry, I shan't tarry him long.
Do you want me to order you some food, Obsidian?
It's all
I'm
right.
getting 2 roasts. No? Okay.
Atticus looks at Obsidian.
Maybe.
He closed. So you dealt the killing blow.
Yes, that would be how it transpired. Bit of a personal failure of mine, but was
Did it-
difficult to navigate at the end. The neck snapped all too easily.
And what of the moments after the dragon's death?
I have felt a surge,
Mm. I've experienced the same. It changes one. Subtly. But noticeably, yes?
I feel swifter. Movements are just. There's a certain nimbleness I haven't felt ever since the scales grew harder.
You enter a distinct fellowship now, a small one. True dragon slayers who have the essence of their quarry imprinted upon them forevermore, sometimes good and sometimes for ill. Should this begin to trouble you or manifest in any strange ways, know that I am a kindred spirit in this matter.
I am used to strange things. To things that most would qualify as strange, rather.
Very well, that's all. Get up my hair. Yeah, you are all in the bar proper. So we're ordering food, are we?
Well, as I suggested, I think maybe we should go out for a celebratory meal. Maybe we should clean ourselves up first, and then go out for something a little more fancy. What do you say?
I'm at this moment very tempted for quantity over quality, but if it's not too far, I can contain my rumbling stomach.
I could always get down with some sushi.
Those portions seem ridiculously small, I must say.
No. That's the thing. You keep ordering. Like you get a roll and then you order another roll and you order another roll and you order another roll.
The in-between times are hard because I eat and then I want to eat some more and then I have to. It's okay. Sushi.
Just order like 6 right at the start, and then about halfway through, order another 6.
Maybe we
can do
get
that.
something hearty for now. Now that now that we're not having to survive on rations, and then we can have an official celebratory evening, a different night.
Works for me.
God, I can't wait to get out of these clothes. Although I smell amazing, so there's that.
Always smell the sandalwood.
What? Who does? He does?
Yeah, he's got enchanted
Part of his
thing I
pact.
got him.
Oh. Okay.
No, he's got a it's not sandalwood, it's cedarwood that he smells of.
Pact
Oh,
of a
yeah, you do smell
pact of a
amazing.
hexglade.
God.
Yep. So I mean that's pretty great news. That seems like we're not going to have to give up any further portion of our earnings. So I make that out to be 50 platinum, 3,500 silver, and 712.5 gold pieces each.
Can I make an insight check or a math check? No, it's fine.
Yeah, make your insight against his deception.
Really, I should roll intelligence to see if I got this right.
Ooh, can read you like a book.
I seem to be telling the truth.
Can you write that? What that was?
Mm-hmm.
You're typing that into... Okay. In the meantime, if people were ordering food, Mila does bring over trays of hearty roasts. The other patrons are looking at you all expectantly, and a couple ask, you know, did you manage it? Did you lose anyone? Weren't there five of you?
Of course not. After a little bit of, a quick snack to keep him going, Atticus would definitely like stand up and regale the tale and, fully try his best to be center of attention and embellish all the details involving his actions.
There is applause. It is a well-received story from people who appreciate a good tale. Do you tell the whole thing, or does everybody chip in, like when we give a profile in Criminal Minds?
I feel like since he wants to be the center of attention, that he just doesn't give anyone a chance to hop in.
I'll occasionally just hype man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
Basically.
not. No.
And yeah, everybody is thoroughly regaled. You all get the sense that if there were a numeric value for what the Adventurers Guild thinks of you in general, if there were one, it would have gone up by 1 or something like that.
Nice.
Suddenly loads of new quests appear over certain people's heads.
What might that value have been before, though? That is the question. And on what scale?
I am now encumbered.
Did you add the gold?
Yes.
I mean, 3,500 silver is too much to be carrying around.
What's 0.5 GP gold piece?
So I just divided it by 4, and technically it doesn't divide by 4. So it's 712.5 gold pieces each.
But so what's 0.5 gold pieces? Is that 5 silver pieces?
5 silver.
Right. Okay.
Let's assume that Mila was happy to give us change.
Okay.
Do you have change for 4,000 gold?
just 2 gold.
Platinum, I like to think are like £50 notes. Like, sorry, we can't tender platinum coins.
That's legal tender.
That's a never winter gold. So yeah, you receive a good meal. It appears to only be early afternoon. What are our individual plans after we eat?
God.
I'm gonna look at the others after eating. I will prestidigitate myself so that I'm clean.
You'll go blind.
I am cleaned up. I'm fed, and I am looking to spend some money. But before that, I just wanted to check with y'all. What were we supposed to be doing for the constabulary again?
Didn't he want us to go up to tradesmen for something or other?
When are we supposed to be doing that?
I believe we had a week from the meeting.
I think it was kind of a flexible week, though. So.
No, we're waiting for a permit. Commander Grimes is working to get us a trade permit, so we can pretend to be part of the sort of, I guess, working there.
Deputization.
He said to return in 5 days, and that was 3 days ago.
9 days ago. You have 5 stars on GTA. Yeah,
no,
you have 2 days.
That was on the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. So tomorrow, or it depends on the what. So 2 more days, 2 days.
Yeah.
All right, great. Before we wandered out to go shopping, I wanted to make sure that no one was actively looking for us. Cool. 2 days. All right. Anyone up for running some errands?
I love errands.
I do as well.
I certainly need to visit old Raitu and his bare arms.
I need to go try and find a man about a permit, a different type of permit for myself.
This town is honestly so many rules and regulations.
Asher, I mean to ask, and please do not take this badly. I'm growing very fond of your presence, but
How long
it
till I'm
seems
gone?
no, not at all. Please, and she blushes. No, I did not mean that, but it seems you are keen on starting a business here, and you now have the means to do so.
Well, yeah, yeah. So, I was gonna maybe talk to you about this because I know you guys are more of the adventuring type, and I'm very much not. However, and she'll like point to the bag of holding. I now realize the potential to be like the like most cutting edge potion shop in the market if I'm constantly bringing in all the best and most unique types of ingredients for my wares. Like this won't just be another place to get healing potions. Like I have things with dragon's blood in them. So I was gonna maybe just float it by you guys if you think you're going to continue adventuring, like maybe I will also just kind of keep this good thing going, and run my shop on the weekends, build up a good stock of things, really get everything going, and then maybe I can hire someone to keep an eye on the shop while I'm out getting more ingredients. But I no pressure, like just kind of
Asher,
figuring all this out.
Don't undersell yourself so much. You say that we're adventurers. I think you've proven exactly the metal that you're made of. And of course, we would be glad to have you, wouldn't we, guys?
Of course, I'm concerned.
See how you read
Jesus Christ.
Wouldn't we, guys?
I'm just being honest here. Your margins might be more comfortable, and of course, your wares would be unique, but you might pay the cost with your life. And I will protect you as far as I can. But I just want you to be
also
aware.
protect you. Don't worry.
Okay, well, maybe we protect each other. I've been pretty good at keeping this alive, or at least helping. You guys whack things, and I kind of handle the other things.
Don't get me wrong, you are invaluable.
Strength in diversity.
Exactly.
You walk in and learn a module.
Well, I guess to the Amnian Nights. All four of us.
The Amnian Nights!
Yeah, cheers.
And I'll be a proper knight once I get my fucking plate armor.
Is that how it works?
I mean, more or less.
And a horse. You really need a horse.
I'm really not a fan of horses.
I remember.
I can borrow you a goat.
Obsidian, I'm going to kill that goat.
Do not dare. Besides, I thought that
it looks at me in a way. Oh, it just.
It yearns for battle.
Then please allow to see combat. I will combat it myself if I must.
The first tourney.
By the way, I don't recall. You know that weird magical book that we found in the mausoleum? Did we ever identify it using the identifier?
Yes.
Was that unsuccessful?
It was the Book of Violet Hues, and it contained the identify spell was able to identify that it contained strange instructions for strange techniques that were not magic. You were unable to discern, even with the spell laying out what they were, you were unable to really understand the nature of what it was explaining how to do. At least on the pages that were chained shut, but were bound open.
Perhaps there's someone that we can speak to about this that might be able to explain what's going on with it or has better knowledge than we. Probably someone who's licensed to use magic in the city.
Possibly who you've already heard of.
Such as...
Such
And
as,
who would that be?
read your notes!
My notes are not here with me right now.
There's about 99 pages of notes.
You were given a number of heavy breadcrumbs in Ardif's lair that I think the real life break and side jaunt for the Green Dragon has driven from memories.
Okay.
But you have a few different main plot leads that you could be following in or on the side of your trip to trade meet. None of which are going to be like, ha, well, you never did this, so you die. But when you're asking questions that are directly answered by things I know you already know, it is worth me highlighting.
We will have to revisit those notes then. But meanwhile, Asher's gonna stand up and be like, all right, I have multiple men to see about multiple horses.
Oh, what did I say about horses? Horrible, stupid creatures. Dangerous.
It's more of an expression, like, it's, if you're gonna go buy a horse, you gotta say, oh, I gotta go listen.
I'm not going to buy a horse. I've got a lot, I may have money burning a hole in my pocket, but I'm not
What
going
did
to buy
I
a
just
horse.
say?
All right, I'm gonna go see multiple men about multiple dogs then. Never mind. I'm gonna go run some errands. Do we
Okay.
want to split this up? Meet up somewhere for celebratory dinner?
I mean, I'm happy to join, but I want to get my order in with Raitu as soon as I can.
I mean, yeah, we can do this groupsies if you want, but I don't really need that much in the way of plate armor. So, and I figure you don't need much in the way of
Horses.
Joaquin Promenade shop
I mean,
permits.
yeah, but if you want some company, that would be cool.
Oh, well, yeah, we can groupsies. Let's do it.
When
Excellent.
it comes to errands, I would be keen to add another rune to the collection. And I was thinking that it could be appropriate to use the acid if you have any spare to do so.
Do you need it?
I don't know how much you have used last time.
Isn't acid etching what he did for the first one as well?
It was, but it wasn't dragon.
I mean,
Yeah,
dragon
this
acid used.
we've got 4 vials of acid.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know how much was used. Like it wouldn't be that big, so I imagine it's not like a huge ask. I don't know.
Well, the acid I still have on myself from that the other thing we fought.
Yeah, well, so Obsidian is saying that he would be keen to use Dragon's Acid to mark this room, as that would be symbolic.
Yeah, you can give, if you're happy to give him a vial of the dragon acid.
Yeah, absolutely. You just need one?
Yeah.
That would be
Okay,
a
cool.
question to Sireh.
the artist.
Do you want
Oh, what, you would
me?
do
Didn't
a
Cromwell
tattoo
do it
with
for
the
you last time?
acid?
We did the acid marking together. It was like a
Jim.
tattoo sort of first.
Okay.
It's a different because one thing's the rune, the other thing is the tattooing. Is that, or is it the same thing?
I believe we did the rune. We did it essentially a tattoo.
I
to
thought
mark it,
Cromwell
and then
fitted the rune and then she
Cromwell, yeah,
decorated it
Cromwell.
for you.
Yeah,
Kind
I
of.
think so. That was yeah. So yes. In fact, I have a design that I was planning to do on myself, but perhaps something inspired by the dragon.
All right. Well, yeah, I've got 4 vials of acid, so
25. This is Kalamshan for strength. It's like,
Brother, I'd be keen to get some plate. Perhaps we can go together.
First stop, Raitu's bare arms.
So you both wanted to write to Mr. Obsidian. Are you thinking of going to Cromwell's?
Yes, probably after the rune is prepared.
Well, he'd need to prepare a rune for you, yeah? And place it in and then she'd decorate it. Is this
Okay,
a
so-
rune? Is this a metal and scale rune?
Yeah, so the way it worked last time, the way I remember it at least, maybe I'm misremembering something. We did first go to like a park, I think, somewhere, and Sira did essentially an engraving, like an opening for the rune, and then what Cromwell does is fill it with
Metal.
molten
Right,
metal.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was the other way around. I thought he put metal in and then she was engraving it afterwards. So, okay, sure.
No, it was certainly
So,
this way, because
right.
I have it still unfilled, the second one. We
Okay.
did the thing, but it's not. I only have one metal rune inside a scale.
Okay.
It's the first one.
Okay.
So, yes, off into
The
the
other one is
city.
just open.
So, off into the city you go.
ooh. Have we seen this art before? I like this.
Yeah, this is some old. It's so hard finding good art of Athkatla. But yeah, you have seen. I think you saw this when you came back from the farm and entered through the gates.
Mm,
Yeah, and before long, you, knowing the way, head to Raitu's bare arms, where the large bear folk, silent if you remember, unspeaking, is working away in his forge. All of 8 foot tall, he is, unsurprisingly, a large boy. On seeing you all enter, he locks eyes on you, Atticus, having dealt with you before, and just gives a nod before finishing, taking a few moments to finish what he's doing, and then just lays down what he'd been the fine hammering that you see is like a maul, like obsidian swings around that he's been using for his fine detail. And he stands up, dusts the hands up, and nods.
Greetings, Raitu. I hope we find you well. I know it's not been long since last I paid a visit, but I'm looking for an upgrade already. A set of full plate, if you have any such thing available.
He sort of looks up along the partially constructed suits on his racks and sort of walks up to you and just sort of large paws on your shoulders and a bit of pat on the side. Seems to give you a bit of a rudimentary sizing up. And nods in the affirmative.
And if you have one slightly larger for someone slightly taller, I'm also looking for plate.
Like taller but slimmer, you know?
And he sort of sizes you up, doesn't paw at you, but just sort of looks at you compared next to. And just takes a quill and parchment and writes out 1,500 each.
A tall price to pay, but with your craftsmanship, I'm sure it'll be well worth it. How long before it's ready? Have you mostly got the components together, or is there some adjusting that needs to be done? Tomorrow? Very well. Here, half now, half later, as before. Very well, and I will pay him in platinum coins.
Each coin gets a quick platinums at least. He nods and then just gently moves you all towards the door.
Actually, I don't have that many platinum, so some of it's not platinum, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I also pay him.
Yeah. And he gently ushers you, and then you see that he just fully turns the sign around and closes his store for the day. And you just hear pieces of armor being lifted off their storage on the wall. Yeah, if you can both mark off 750 gold.
How much there is in platinum? What's platinum? Is it 10 gold?
It would be 75, yeah.
Okay.
Gonna have to mix coinage.
Yeah, me too. Sorry.
Should have gone
10
to the bank
silver,
first.
1 gold? Is 10 silver, 1 gold?
Yes.
Can we assume we change it? Can we fluctuate currencies just for, or do we need to go for a bank to change our silver into gold?
We can always just turn it into gold.
Okay, thanks. So I'm gonna, yeah, okay.
So yeah, commissioned 2 sets of plate armor, which will be ready tomorrow. Where are we heading to next? No, should I throw a random encounter at you? You said you had
I'm gonna look
multiple
at
men.
Obsidian and be like, administrative offices or Rune Guy? Next.
Obsidian is in no rush.
Let's give a
Alright.
room man.
Let's go get your room taken care of.
Okay, so are you going to the park to get it etched in again, or you're just getting the one you already had etched filled in?
That would be first etching, I think. That would be more reasonable to then deal with everything in terms of the shop. Because that will be 2 runes and also the armor and all of that.
Do you seek to go to the park again to have it done, or is there somewhere else you want to go
No,
for?
that would be very much up to Sire, if Sire is
Sire.
willing to provide the services again. Sort of tattooing.
We really need to find some sort of room because I'm also trying to find a quiet place to do this. If you're comfortable in the park, we should go there again. The design I have in mind might take a little bit longer. Perhaps an hour or so.
So, what sort of design is that?
Well, I've been developing this technique with patterns, and she sort of, you can see like the ones she's got that come off her neck is kind of like a weird labyrinthic pattern, sort of combination of like lines and symbols and almost like clouds in all the, but like they're patterns, but like it's kind of like you can make shapes. If you look at a certain pattern, then it makes a shape, or if you look at another kind of pattern, makes a different shape, almost like looking at stars, but with lines and circles. The real artist is Curatoro, just the hand that weaves or carries the ink.
Is that something that would work with acid and scales rather than your usual?
Well, I mean, and she kind of like traces and pushes her finger down, and you can see like her skin is made out of like micro scales, like tiny little, almost like fish scales, rather than actual skin.
So those are very different from.
You can't see. It's kind of like
you want to make.
I know they're very different, but there's a way to work with your scales. The pattern would work around your shape.
Well, that sounds like a separate thing. Does it not?
In what way?
I mean, it is. I have been collecting carvings of runes that carry meaning.
Oh, I can work to your thing for sure. Yeah, no, forget I suggested anything. Yes, I will do. You can just.
What is it that you said that you plan to practice on your own skin with that design?
Well, okay, I just had this sort of I mean, I had a small design that was inspired by the dragon, and I was going to do it on myself, and then you said you wanted it done, so I thought maybe I would do it on you instead of myself. But if there's a rune that you want me to,
what would you rather do? Do you wish do you just want to do the design?
Obsidian, your body, your choice, man. I forgot your runes carry your meaning. My patterns carry meaning for me. I think it's important that you stay true to yourself.
I mean, I can have both.
Show me what it is that you want it to do. I can see if I can integrate it.
Right.
I mean, and then eventually it would be like a fairly similar, I mean, at least in complexity of design that you have done before. So that's, you know.
And what does this rune mean?
So the last one was something that might mean the word frigid or distant. This one would be a one for cure. It could also be just understood as tenacity. Yeah.
Okay.
So while this is being done, are Atticus and Asher remaining with them? Or are you...
Yeah, I was just gonna say, at some point while they're talking about the logistics of this, she's just gonna look over at Atticus, like looking really bored, and be like, "I'm gonna go find a chippy or something, get some snacks. Be back here."
I mean, sure. Let's go do that, and then we can, head to errands.
Oh yeah. Let's.
Sure. By the way, Obsidian, I'm gonna leave this chain hook. I think it'll be more useful for you, and I'll just like leave it with Obsidian.
I'll take care of it.
Yeah, so I mean, Obsidian does want to understand if Sirey wants to make the design on someone else generally, but was settling on doing it on her own skin, or is that like a...
No. What she said is that she was going to do it in her own skin, and then she kind of said, "Okay, maybe I do it on you instead." But
Sure.
What she draws on her notebook is basically the rune. There's some like, do you show her the rune? Like, is the rune like a specific rune, aka does it like a letter? Like, does it have an actual?
Basically,
right,
like it would be. I imagine it would be like sort of a word, basically, right?
right.
Like the.
Then the only flourish would be that maybe on the edges there's kind of like a point, kind of like the shape of a claw or fangs, just to kind of like decorate that rune a little
Sure.
bit.
That's.
Yeah. Okay, this
Okay.
stings a bit, you remember. Try not to move. I mean, and
I'm sure I'm growing used to it.
there's a peacefulness to it. I remember we spoke about it. See if images come to you.
Peaceful acid birds, yes.
Try to meditate on whatever sensation beyond pain. Sometimes pain can be insightful. Sometimes it's just the pain. And she starts pouring acid down the scales.
Mm.
So that takes quite a bit of time to work and finesse and get the occasional confused glance from a passerby. But yeah, as you begin to work on the scale, Asher and Atticus wander off to try and find... What's a strange red glow? Wander off to try and find something to eat.
More things to eat.
You find, after walking around for a little while, the first thing you see is there is a pie and pastries shack. A large green painted wooden wagon with a full loaf of bread on top, parked in front of a large bakery with a sign across the top that appears to just read "Unbelievable Pain."
God damn it.
And the smell of warm, delicious baked goods drifts out from within.
Right. Well, I could do with some pastries. That'll work. She will walk up, and what do they have for sale?
It's a very nice place, but it appears to be low on customers at the moment. The only person in there is the proprietor behind the counter, who looks up with a bit of a twitch in his eyes, like, "Ah, good morning, or good afternoon, rather.
Oh,
Right,
right.
don't mind me and the mess, just waiting, starting up for the afternoon. How are we all? We both."
Oh man, we're great. You seem like you're having a fantastic day.
I've been up all night.
Oh, okay.
Baking, plum pies, apple pies, cream pies, all sorts. Got all the different sorts. Got to stock up. I have deliveries going. A large catering event tomorrow that I am preparing for. All manner of things. What would you like to eat? What can I get you? Sausage roll?
Listen, I kind of was in the mood for something sweet. Do you have those things where they're like folded over on themselves? They're like warm little pockets, and they have like fruit filling inside.
Turnovers?
Yeah,
I have turnovers. Have you ever been to Cormier, young lady?
No.
I have a Cornish pasty as well, which is an absolute delicacy. I will throw in a Cornish pasty with every turnover. And how about you, fine young fellow? What would you be caring for today?
Oh, I'm definitely after something sweet as well. We did just have some dinner, so I'll take a little slice of sweet plum pie, please.
Can I get-
Slams the what?
Can I actually get 3 turnovers with the passes as well? We got some friends back
He
in the
looks under
park.
the counter for a moment. It's like, I don't have that many Cornish pasties, but I'll give you all the Cornish pasties I have. And he slices up.
Sounds good.
Yep, he slices up all of that, wraps it all in a nice red and white sort of checkered paper. That will be 6 silver. Do you need a bag?
Yes.
6
please.
silver, 2 copper, then please.
Awesome. I will hand that over.
Yeah, mark that off.
3,500 silver
Mark
pieces.
that off for me. And yeah, he hands over a bag of assorted baked goods.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take that plum pie and eat that as we go. I do have a bit of a sweet tooth, gotta say.
Yeah. GM, I'm going to start wandering, eating my pastry, and just keeping a lookout for a certain type of person.
You immediately see a certain type of person. Like, as soon
Yeah.
as you start looking for it, you
Sweet.
see a certain type of person. A young woman, sort of stood,
Yeah.
dark hair, slight red thread through the hair. Maybe an insight check.
Cool. Oh.
Okay, yeah. You see her, you catch her eye, and she gives you a very slight nod.
Yep. I'm just gonna kind of glance over at Atticus and just, well, all right. Yeah. I just have to pick up one more thing. Sorry. And I'm going to wander that direction, just hoping that he just stays put.
He is definitely just gonna follow you.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So walking over as you approach this woman who smiles at you expectantly, genuinely seems very, very happy to see you. You realise that this is Rose Telfeather, who you grew up with.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
I have what you need. Are you feeling better?
I'm gonna look over at Atticus.
Atticus, you hear Asher just speaking to someone who's not there. She's looking up almost at like a bit of a building or something. But yeah, Asher, Rose gives you a bit of a warm, caring smile, and you realise very, very quickly that you're not talking to Rose. You're talking to someone who's choosing to look like Rose at the moment for you.
What are you doing?
I have...
What is this?
It's what you need. And she holds out a package that you recognise as being fire moss.
Asher,
You're
who are
doing
you
very
talking
well.
to?
I won't make things awkward for you.
I
know. I wasn't here.
You said you needed to pick something
And then
up?
she's gone. But you're holding a packet of fire moss.
how does she look right now? Is she still like?
I imagine like she does on camera.
I mean, can look confused, but does she still like have the sweats and look a bit flushed and stuff?
She absolutely looks like on the verge of like very uncomfortable tears.
Asher, it's okay. I'm here for you. What's the matter?
Yeah. You know what? No, it's cool. You don't. I don't actually need anything. Really.
We can get you
I'm
whatever you
fine.
need, honestly.
Yeah. No, no. You know what? I'm actually good. And I'm just gonna turn and direction and walk away from you.
Atticus, make an insight. Atticus, make a perception check rather, not an insight check. Okay.
I am going to pick the nearest alleyway and just tuck into it for a minute.
Athkatla really does need more public toilets.
It does. No, I'm gonna sit there for a minute and be like, I don't actually need it. Like it was just it's something like I want, like it's like I don't have what you need. I don't need this.
It's a nice little dark green, like somewhere between wood and cardboard quality, like fold out. It's high fashion, quick fast fashion, like open case.
Fucking hurting anyone. I don't need this. It just helps. What are they? Okay, it's fine. And I'm gonna pull out some fire moss and use some.
So open it, you see it's nicely, there's a compartment that has like a bag of it in. There are also two beautiful feathers in there. One bright orange, one bright green.
It'll look like for a second I'm gonna throw them away. And then just tuck them in my pocket. Yeah. This is real. I will use it.
Yep.
And then pack away my pack.
A rather confused Atticus, I imagine, finds you emerging from an alleyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I will emerge from the alleyway. And if you hadn't managed to catch up, I will seem much more calm and relaxed and like nothing just happened. Hey.
What's going on, Asher?
Honestly, I think stress of dragon stuff was getting to me. I could have sworn that I saw someone that I knew from my childhood. It's clearly I just needed a minute to breathe and everything. I'm so sorry. It must have been super weird.
Yeah, it was pretty weird actually, but yeah, it's like totally cool. I guess whatever.
Right. Yeah.
I think we all just need a bit of a sleep. Like it's been
for
a long
sure.
week.
I mean, yeah. We haven't even slept yet, so like, it's absolutely it. It's absolutely it. We're super tired. I mean, we fought a fucking dragon.
I know, it's pretty cool though. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Anyways, we should get back to the park.
Did you still need to pick up some alchemical stuff or what?
No. I'm good. Let's just get back to the others.
Cool. Sounds good.
So as they're on, as we're on their way back, anything specific or extra that Siri and Obsidian maybe want to say to each other as they work, or is it just the process of creating together?
Syria gets quite concentrated as because she also is also like a meditation moment for her. But uh, when Syria does this, she is opening her mind to sensations. She's bathing in the experience, in that her intellect is off, and her senses are very, 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 very open. And but it's a moment where she allows things to come to her rather than seeking out moments.
And what about Obsidian?
Obsidian will be respectful towards Sile, and seeing as it has been described to him as a meditative process, he will not be spoiling that as much as possible, being burned by the acid. You know.
Okay. That takes a while to do. Syria, a few thoughts come to you unbidden whilst you're in the process. Moments thinking about heading off the trade meet soon, and what that means for you, the encounters you might have with elements of the past. You think about the dragon you just fought and those conflicting feelings you had about its life being ended so soon. And then almost like a sudden intrusive thought on top of all of that, pushing its way to the front, is that little dragon egg that got broken in the frozen throne. That a misadventure, and if Gullah Vaxanulan's potential for better or for worse was cut short by the group, what could that egg have been? And yeah, the work, the dragon design, as you sort of look at what you've been creating, very, very true to the design you had in mind, but you find that you've subconsciously added some new elements to it as you've been working. It almost seems to carry an element of birth and hatching, and the realization of potential seems to have been incorporated into the design in a way that it isn't written on it, but you feel it and understand it when you sort of come fully back to attention and look at the work you've done.
It never quite goes the way I think it's going to go when I start. It's part of what makes it so fascinating.
I love with a quote like that. It'd be great. He looks down and like you've just done a sea lion. He's just like, what? Yeah,
This one, the other one has healed nicely. Perhaps it's time to get it filled.
Such is the plan.
Yeah. Asher and Atticus rejoin you.
Asher looks maybe like she was crying earlier, but she's super chill now. And she will hand you some pastries and just be like, hey, you guys hungry at all? We found a pastry shop with a really awful name.
How are the pastries, yeah?
Good. Real good. Almost no lead.
I could eat maybe half a dozen of these.
And they are like full wedges of like deep pie.
Actually, maybe a full dozen.
Well, You can certainly have mine. I'm good.
Don't mind if I do. And she, Sire has a hearty appetite. She eats a lot.
You guys, tattoos, runes, whatever, done. Now you gotta get it filled, right?
Yes,
Or
and
something? Yeah.
speak about the scales, not mine, but the green dragons, and
Oh
what can be
yeah.
done with them.
How many do
Quite
we
convenient.
have?
300 pounds worth of scale.
300 pounds worth of scales.
And
Nice.
attached meat, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit of attached meat, yeah. So you're heading to Cromwell, are you?
I don't know. If they don't have anything more pressing. Obsidian's always is happy to go by himself later or, delay.
I mean,
Let's do it, and all
Oh,
watch Obsidian's pain.
Yeah. I mean, Asher was secretly hoping for if there's leftover dragon hide, to get at least something maybe a little made, but she realizes that the fighters have precedence when it comes to armoring up.
Well, given we're heading to a new location, it's a few minutes earlier than usual, but let's take our 10-15 minutes now, and then we'll carry on solidly. So I will pause the game, and I will take us to the Be Right Back. Be right back. Arrive and approach the Forge of Legends. The sound of hammering comes from within. You should all be on the scene, or at least loading onto it. And coming up from hammering away at what looks to be like the blade of a halberd. It's staffing against the wall is Cromwell the Fourth. A very stout tiefling, looking to be of maybe dwarven origin with his infernal ancestry, but he stands there broad and looks up. He has a little twinkle of recognition in his eyes. You're back again.
I am, and with quite a haul.
Oh,
We've managed to acquire 300 pounds of dragon scale, more or less.
the hammer just gets deposited on the anvil. He rips the gloves off and slaps them down, rubbing his hands as he comes over. Dragon scale.
Not the sturdiest kind, but it is of a dragon.
Who's holding the bag of holding?
Be about it. Let's see.
Yeah, I can say I got it. I'll start pulling out all the 300 pounds of
Yeah, as a bag of holding comes out, he's like, a wise choice. Lift it for me. Lift it with me.
Said I will happily help.
Good quality. Young could be a lot harder. But, corrosive. A green despite the paling, yes?
Was a green, yes.
And he grabs one of the scales at the very edge, rips it off with a bit of difficulty. It's like, workable. Almost all workable. But too soft for some things. could not work this into plate,
Damn.
nor a shield. At least
What-
not a kite or a wall. A buckler, very possible. And he sort of walks along looking at it. I could fashion, I think, with this much, 3 things. Given time and, regrettably, coin. I could make a buckler, easy enough. This is all green dragon, so anything I make will be hardy without being heavy. It will resist and shrug off poison, and depending on what I create, it may also carry other effects relating to that type of dragon. Normally depends on the amount of scales and the nature of the item. Dragons are inherently magic. If I took 50 scales and made a dagger with them, the effect of that dragon scale would be different than if I took those 50 scales and put them on a mace or a pair of braces. The magic of a dragon seeps into what you create with it. But I could make a buckler, a set of scale mail. You seem to prefer being unimpeded by armaments yourself, yes?
Typically.
I think I can make
Well,
something for you that will not,
Hmm?
that would not impede you as you throw yourself around in battle. A girdle or a belt of sorts. The others, they already wear armor. It would interfere, but some sort of
I mean,
class-specific
left
item would be...
if you've got left over after him for like a nice undershirt.
Who is the owner who makes the decisions on what the commission will be?
Oh, this guy. Yeah.
Would appear that I am. Then.
I could make... The scales are tremendously useful and might have immense worth, but there is still a great deal else that needs to go into these. Most of which I'm able to provide. Others I am able to bypass with the skills of my craft. The belt I could make for 4,000 gold. The buckler I could make for 3,000 gold. And the scale armor, this undershirt, as it were, I could make for 5,000 gold.
I mean, only if it doesn't take away from his stuff.
I could
Oh,
make...
well, that it would appear that that will not be a problem for now, for we do not have that money. So this will have to wait, I'm afraid.
Do you have... Where did you come by this?
Took it of a dragon.
Yes?
Hmm.
Did you have any other parts of the dragon that we could perhaps barter with to offset some of the cost?
We've got some teeth and claws.
Claws.
They seem to be quite valuable for crafting the
Um,
claws. We're
How
told.
many claws do you have?
Nah. What did we?
9.
9.
9?
And then 11 teeth.
I cannot for the teeth. May I see the claws?
Yeah, sure. Here you go.
He takes a locksy. I can fashion these into daggers with time. You have 9?
Yeah.
I would take these off you or put them towards work at a rate of 600 gold per claw.
So do math for me. Tell me what that is.
So 5 is 3,000.
So it's 9.
5,400. 5,400. No.
So what was the buckler and the belt?
3,000 for the buckler, 4,000 for the belt.
And how much would it take us to get one of those daggers?
I'll be selling the daggers once the work is complete for around 900.
Okay.
Buckler, does it provide a normal amount of protection for a shield, but with the added effect of poison resistance?
Indeed, and typically, the power of a dragon being imbued into such an innately defensive item creates a bulwark against draconic energy. Typically, those who use a shield made of a dragon's scales find themselves bolstered against the fear-inducing sight of a dragon when it tries to use its frightful presence upon its foes.
Got anything for a great sword?
How much bone did you manage to get? That's where we get to work with the real weapons.
I have a dragon bone chunk, but unfortunately, due to our weight restrictions, I did not get all that much bone.
So what did you do with the remainder of the skeleton?
It is where we left it, I suppose. In a cave.
When do you intend to return to it? Did you post guards?
No.
Forgive me,
The
this
bones.
is terribly foolish of you.
Well, it is half a continent away, so.
The bones of the dragon will make good wealth and retribution for the suffering of the people it terrorized. There's rangers over there that know where the corpse lies, and perhaps they can use it to bolster their forces or compensate lost farmers.
We shall pretend together, then, that it was gallantry and not foolishness, yes?
But we also had no means to carry it. If you know of a discounted store selling bags of holding, please do let us know.
I will tell you this, despite the fact it has brought me work. If ever you find yourselves in the situation again where you must choose between scale and bone, I highly recommend that you choose bone. Its applications are far more wider reaching.
Well, it would be very useful if we knew that before we set out to this adventure, as I conversed with you on multiple occasions about hunting dragons.
Indeed.
We would definitely need a larger carrying capacity.
So, with the value of the daggers, would you care to have any of these items commissioned?
Yeah, Obsidian, you should get that buckler or whatever.
Or a belt.
Yeah.
So do I understand it correctly that we can take one of those three, basically?
No, you have the scales
Yeah.
to have all three made. Or you could, if you were like,
Oh.
fuck the buckler, we'll have 2 sets of armor. You could do that. He has enough to make
Okay.
3 items, but the belt
Gotcha.
only applies to obsidian.
Oh, we can sell all of it.
Or you can just sell all of it if you don't want
Okay.
any
So-
green dragon scale items.
Your sword! You could have had a dragon bone sword!
I'm choosing to not mentally acknowledge that.
So buckler
We-
and
They always
buckler
go
and
back.
belt would be 5.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the armor itself is 5.
Yeah. So I think we will forgo the armor now. We'll get the shield and the belt. See how they look, and then distribute them based on what they do.
Well, they're both for Obsidian, aren't they?
We'll
Mhm.
see. We'll see.
I'm not gonna be able to make use of a buckler.
You can't carry a shield?
I actually
Fine.
don't know if I can, but
Doesn't-
also Asher
doesn't-
doesn't want to.
It's
Shit.
we'll
Like,
see
what, I
when we
gotta
get
do
there.
something with my hands? No.
We'll see when we get there. So we could have 3. So the way I count it is we buy 1 dagger and we sell the rest of the teeth. So
Teeth
that
or claws?
is
But he didn't want
claws,
the
yeah.
teeth.
Yeah, claws.
Oh yeah.
That's what I mean. So that would be 3,900 by my count,
Okay.
because that's for 800, and then we remove 900 for buying the dagger back,
Yeah.
basically.
And then just keep the remainder of the scales so I can get a shirt made at a later
Yeah,
date.
so I've used £200 of scales, and you'll have £100 of scales
Yeah.
left.
So that would be 3,900 from just the claws, teeth, claws,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will add the rest for that. So that would be 1,100, and we have buckler and belt.
Okay, so Obsidian, you remove the gold from you or the party as needed. I will go and dial down your dragon bits.
Whilst this is whilst Obsidian and Cromwell are chatting, Asher, you and Atticus, you're quite good with words. It seems like Cromwell has been really eager to work with some materials that would make his forefathers proud. Maybe he can offer some sort of discount for the privilege.
I'll be honest with you. I think after the deal has been made is the wrong time to try and then go back in and negotiate for a better discount.
I'm really bad at this.
We'll probably just kind of piss him off.
Oh.
But like maybe like I don't feel like we got a bad deal, if it makes you feel any better. But yeah, maybe next time we try and go in beforehand with a stronger game plan. I'm
I
all
follow
for
your
that,
instincts.
I feel like
I'm
at
not
this
great
point
with-
he'd just get pissed.
Right. Yes.
So
This
as he's-
explains
as
so
he's-
much of past interactions.
As he's measuring stuff up, it's like, so a green dragon, what? Anything else of worth you managed to acquire? Any stupendous items of great renown or marvelous craftsmanship? Any designs or plans?
I mean, nothing all that crazy. This gauntlet, for example.
Your helm.
Sarah's got that.
And your helm.
Yes, such seems to be a basic enchantment. The gauntlet is of marvelous craftsmanship. Very admirable.
This, she pulls out the key. This one's particularly interesting, and she kind of does a little flourish with her hand, and the key expands into its long-form sword, which I don't think we've seen or know what it looks like.
No, there's the item thumbnail, but yeah, I saw your message, and we need to make a full item version of that. But yeah,
That is cool.
That's what it looks like when
That is really cool.
goes from key. You'll see, obviously, the hilt is, you see the little key inside the spirit of the larger weapon. Yeah, it appears to be a marvelous creation of a very arcane nature, that is of books, not of the forge. Still, it looks stupendous.
Are we still carrying around that birdcage? What did we do with that?
I think it's in the bag of holding.
We need to find a good place to sell this.
Well,
Perhaps an art merchant or something. Or
We
who
have
knows, maybe
agreed.
Glenn.
Well,
maybe. We have
this
agreed on the main piece. I would have some smaller things to.
Well, let me tell
discuss.
you first. This will take the belt and for the buckler a total of 5 days.
Mhm.
The daggers will come with time. They will be what I work on between larger jobs. So I do not have a dagger for you today, but I can send a runner for you and deliver it or inform you it is here for collection when it is ready.
Mhm.
If I'm focusing on making these pieces for you, then I imagine that will be in a week or so. Are you looking to have your load lightened by having me securely store the remaining dragon scales in my vault here? Or would you want to keep those on your person?
Sounds reasonable. Unless.
Yeah, if we can get a receipt or some sort of writ.
Of course. He absolutely, whilst maintaining his professional demeanour, looks a bit fucking affronted. Not the lack of trust, but of course was a writ. What do you
Not
think I
every
am?
shop is the same. Just making sure we're not going on the trust system.
If there was a number for your reputation with this man. Yeah, he takes his hammer and just hammers several seemingly random spots on the floor. And there's a brief flash of a glowing rune for a moment that then just like turns and like the floor seemingly opens up into like a large storage chamber under the floor where he invites you to lower it down into the void, Obsidian, as he begins to write out a writ, which once he finishes writing, whilst keeping his eyes on Asher, he rips off and hands to you, Obsidian.
Take it.
And
Right.
then, yeah, the floor. So if you want, for memory's sake, just change the scale weight to 0, and if you want, just add Cromwell to its name. Or, in the party, we can always add in another container of Cromwell storage.
That sounds good. Cromwell, I'm just thinking about the remaining scales. You can do an armor, yes, but how about a cloak?
Dragon scale could be fashioned into a cloak of protection of sorts, yes. It is
Thinking
defensive.
of you, Asher. If you care not for a buckler, but a cloak might protect you.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say no to a cloak.
Would you be able to cost that for us, Cromwell?
For a cloak of protection that contains draconic elements that further add to the nature of the enchantment. I believe around 3,750 gold.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
Which is just the SRD price of a cloak of protection plus a couple of extra 100 for the draconic bonuses I'd be giving it.
Sure. But we basically, after the items that Obsidian has commissioned, we still have enough scales to potentially commission that. Yeah. Good to know.
Right then. That seems to be established. The details then.
I have created 100 pounds of dragon scale, which I've added to the new thing of Cromwell storage with a weight of 0 in the inventory. Okay, yes, the smaller detail.
The runes to fill. We spoke of the cold iron. Have you been able to
I have
procure
some.
such?
Indeed.
All right.
Given
I
the given the patronage today, this I will do for free.
Well, I would add to that one more. I was thinking mercury for it.
Mercury?
Hmm.
Do you have mercury?
No. Do you think it would be procurable within the city?
You know it to be poisonous, maddening, some say.
That is quite all right.
I can make inquiries, but it is not something I have to hand today.
All right. I shall make my own inquiries, perhaps.
So a delay
Well,
on the job, or will you still take the cold iron?
I will take the cold iron, yes.
I shall fire up a crucible. And yeah, he retrieves a couple of small chunks of ore from what's very clearly been stored in a very specific location in his has been set aside. And yeah, he heats it up. And yeah, so this is not the one that Siri just did, but the older one, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
He will rune you up.
Cool. Right.
You will take 1d4 fire damage. You may roll.
Oh.
3 points of fiery damage from as the cold lava, the liquid metal, just seeps its way deeper and deeper in those cracks. You thought that it had fully healed, but clearly it finds its way to just deep, thin recesses, but was still a bit raw or still being pulled open by your movement. And the sting is particularly fierce there. Calling it a sting feels a bit of a downplay, really, when it is molten metal being poured into ravines inside your body.
Quite a process.
It's intense. Asher's gonna step outside.
Memorable.
You smell roast chicken. Yeah. So
And
around
with that-
20, 25 minutes, it's done.
One last thing I was thinking about. Would it be possible for me to take even a small part in the preparation of the dragon scale items? And sort of apprenticeship of some sort? Would that be possible to arrange, or would you not consider such a thing?
The belt is less complex of a craft and yet more personal of an item for you. It could be doable for that. If you dedicate yourself this night to working the forge with me through the night, The belt could be ready by first light, and then the others, the more complicated work, I will do alone.
Cillian will look to the others.
Shall I be needed tonight for anything?
I think we all plan to mostly be getting some rest tonight, so you might be missing out on a few winks, but we shan't be doing anything.
I am willing to dedicate myself.
Good.
He's so intense.
Then I will need to prepare things, and I will take a few hours to rest myself. You return here at sundown, fed, watered, ready to work and light on excuses, and we will toil the night.
Sounds wonderful.
Does this conclude our business for today, then?
Sounds like it.
We'll
Good.
sort of look towards the others with, do we have anything? Did anyone else wanted some? Good.
All right.
Actually, I would.
Mm.
No, it's fine. Should I sell my longsword? Like my normal
I
longsword?
mean, it might hold sentimental value to you, but I mean, you're not going to be using it when you've got those magical weapons, are you? It's going to weigh you down.
Tim, can I sell the longsword? It's just a longsword.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. You'll- Oh no! Before actually,
How dare you?
no. Before I think he's actually said, I deal in the epic shit. But you can find,
yeah.
if not him, you can find some other smith to
Yeah.
take it off you easily.
I'll do that for a couple of things. So maybe I just write it down and then you.
Yeah,
We'll-
just mark
we'll
it your
do that.
channel. I'll give you a value.
Cool.
Let's conclude your business. Where are we going to next?
I was just gonna pick up some additional. I'm running low on vials and random like supplemental ingredients. So I was gonna pick that up so that I can sit and, test and brew with all the things I've gotten.
Asher, did you ever successfully make some potions of healing?
Yeah, we've used them.
Have we?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And the potion resistance.
Shows how memorable they were.
Well,
Would
Atticus
you-
didn't use them, so didn't need them.
Would you, Asher, know of a place that could have mercury in store? Or to procure such a
What's
thing?
his face? The Pink Panther might. The alchemist.
Yeah, I mean we could check at the alchemist.
Agrippa.
He
might use it
Agrippa.
as an Agrippa. Yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
you might use that as an ingredient.
Yeah. Oh.
But I hope you've got your wits about you.
Good thing it's
Do
not at
we-
the end of a long day, at the
How-
end of a long week or anything.
How much time do we have till sundown, by the way?
It's after lunch. You've got a few hours. You're not gonna. I'm not gonna spring a ha. You missed it on you. Short of you going off on a short of you choosing to go and do a dungeon crawl unexpectedly, you can find your way back in time.
Can I go for a long rest in this cart over here?
You can certainly try.
Yeah, Atticus is just leaving this building like dragon bones.
Oh, brother. Do you want to see if they will send us back? Can see if we can harvest some.
I'm not entirely sure how Megira's
Yeah.
transportation works, but I get the impression that that might not be on the cards.
Hey,
For
cheer
example-
up though. We got a bird cage.
We sure did. Got a birdcage. Well,
Hey.
if she can only send us to certain locations, then she sent us to Cedar Watch because that's a location that she has that she can send us, I presume. Or we can ask her later.
Well,
But
they-
if
it
she's never
is-
been to the location that we want to go to, then that might be more difficult.
It is strange that they're never asked of the remains. Wouldn't they be interested in the dragon bone? The guild?
It's all about glory and gold at the guild.
You also didn't actually mention the specifics of what parts you took from it. You certainly didn't say, hey, by the way, we didn't take any of the sweet, sweet ambergris.
So we have the liver.
Hey, I'm excited about the liver.
Yeah.
Although, given
Um,
how excited everyone was to run off to slay the white dragon when we mentioned there was a white dragon around, maybe we could tell some of the guild and they could go and fetch. And that could be their whole expedition. They could go and fetch some. And perhaps for the privilege of our divulging the information, we could have a cut of our own.
We can certainly try. That sounds smart. Yeah, of course,
Not
there's
just
no
a pretty
guarantee that
face.
they will be honest and not lie to us and say they couldn't find it just to avoid giving us the cut. But
Then I'll beat it out of them.
I mean, if it goes through Magira, for example, surely.
Official channels.
Asher,
Hmm.
the dragon eyes.
Yeah.
Once you find out their monetary value, I'd be grateful if you could let me know. Perhaps I could buy one of you.
Oh,
Or
what are you gonna do with it?
but the dragon had dark vision. Is that correct?
Yeah.
If I mix it with my inks, can use some of its magic, and it passes to me, and I'll be able to see with dark vision temporarily. It doesn't have to be dragon eye. It can be the eye of any creature with such a capability. But I am running low with them.
Well, I have the eye of a newt, so there you go. Give that a try.
So what I was actually gonna do, because I got so many different little things, is I was gonna sit up in my room, and basically just brew and test and see what all the qualities of the different things I got are, and see what I can get out of them. So if I'm able to get any sort of essence out of the eye, like I'll
Essence.
share with you.
Um,
Because I mean, if I can get something like that out of it, then I'm sure it would be more useful in a tattoo than a potion.
well, they both seem ethereal in its properties and they fade, but if we're going to go into some dark caves, it would be useful.
Also, do bear in mind that helmet grants dark vision.
That is correct. If the eyes are valuable, I shall not keep them. It was just a thought.
So where are we going as we're having this conversation? I assume this isn't all just stood outside.
Walking to the alchemist, where I will pick up just a buttload more of vials to put in the bag of holding that has just been emptied of scale. And like supplemental things, like I keep it's like all the like stuff I use for all of my different potions that I know how to make. Let's see, like, yeah, phosphorescent moss, fireflies, candles, coal, bear fat, fleshwork,
Well, I've
glow moss.
loaded you
Yeah,
into the alchemists.
cool. As well as I would also like to get like some sort of appraisal done on the stuff I have from
So
him.
you better go into Agrippa's then, hadn't you? You know,
Yeah.
guys, I think I might actually head to the bathhouse and, clean up and steam myself off and get a bit of a relax. So, catch you later.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Ciao.
Do you wish for company?
Uh,
That to me or to Azure?
3 to you.
Sure. Let's go chill out a bit.
So Obsidian and Asher, or just Asher, the alchemists.
Obsidian will join. He wants a thing, so it would be rude to just.
Oh yeah.
Asher,
Yeah,
Asher,
come
could you
price
could you
this
just
for
fetch
me?
me? Could you
Three
just fetch
three
me?
quotes. 3 quotes. Yeah, you go in. Have you been into Agrippus before, Asher? Because I don't think you were here.
I want to say I was outside.
Okay. Yeah. Agrippa
one of the visits.
is just sort of gently
Oh,
leafing
wait, no,
through.
I've been here.
Okay. Agrippa is gently leafing through some herbs on his table that he's been preparing. And he looks up and sees you both enter. Yes, good afternoon. Welcome to Cast Away. How can I be assisting you this resplendent afternoon? Anything particular you're looking for? We have specials in at the moment, discounted rates on various tonics and poultices of a kind, particularly good for afflictions of the lower legs and the feet, but also for the treatment of night sweats and other such things, plaguing the region at the moment due to the unusually warm front coming over from Chult. It
Yeah,
leads to all
so
sorts
good
of different
afternoon.
difficulties people have.
Sorry to cut you
Never
off there.
one I've struggled with myself, but many customers do come in search of these particular ointments.
Yes, sorry. Don't mean to cut you off. We do have quite a bit to get
That's
through
quite
today.
all right. No, nothing of the sort.
Yeah, so
Is there anything in
we
particular
have-
you're looking for today?
Yes. I have a variety of things, and if I could just get from you a very simple, run-of-the-mill, baseline quote for what you think their monetary value is, that would be great. And then after that, I just need to get a restock on a bunch of vials and bottles, all that you have: glimmer bulbs, acid, owl egg, glow moss, fleshwort, flare fat, coal, candles, fireflies, and phosphorescent moth, please.
Phosphorus, are you looking for the typical common alchemical phosphorus, or are you looking for a more heavier charcoal-based phosphorus in use with more advanced potions and bases for complex elixirs?
Let's do half and half.
That would make for terrible effects in your post.
No, I mean, like, let's
under
get the
whom did
normal
you
ones
under
for
whom did you
standard
study
potions.
and learn your craft from? Out of curiosity, if you're looking to employ both a mixture of base and heavy charcoal-based phosphorus for use in elixirs.
Well, to be clear, it's actually just phosphorescent moss that I'm after. Specifically.
You listed fats, bulbs, a mention of a litany of other things you mentioned you were also searching for.
Yeah. Well, so
Do you have a
plan on
list?
making...
He starts sidling over as he pushes his spectacles up.
Absolutely. And she will just
Yes.
hurry and write down a list for him.
And yeah, he takes it. It's like, oh no. What bear fat? What are we seeking bear fat for in use of? This is not the new age attempt at a recipe for healing potions using bear fat instead of a bezoar, is it? Is this practice has been going on for? It's a new fandangled
I got
thing
this recipe
coming
from my DM.
It's a new fandangled thing said to come out of Sea of Stars, and I don't rate it at all whatsoever. Cutting corners and cutting costs is the death of true alchemy. The nature of the ingredients and the components, the scarcity, rarity, and the natural expense that comes with that is a key cornerstone. If everybody started grabbing fistfuls of dirt and pockets of daisies to drive down the prices of their concoctions, then not only would the market suffer terribly and true alchemy would die as an art, but also there would be simply no veracity to the product being consumed on street corners and in the midst of battle, drinking effectively tonic water instead of any healing elixir. What'd you say?
I mean, bear fat's always worked for me in a pinch, so I have no complaints with it. But if you want to recommend something, which I'm sure, obviously, you'll be able to supply at great price,
I
then,
mean,
you know.
a bezoar is not cheap, but it is. It's a bezoar. It speaks for itself in the alchemical world as to its potency and its value, and a prize component in almost any and all alchemical concoctions.
All right, so how much would that run?
A bezoar is 100 gold pieces and can be used to make 2 to 5 potions.
Versus bear fat.
Yes, versus lumps of bear fat that I imagine on occasion you have found that your potions are far from potent and are actually very lackluster.
All right, let's go with your ingredients. I'm willing to try it out.
I don't actually have any bezoars in stock at this time, but when I do have them in stock, I will certainly let you know if they're available.
Well, then for right now, let's go ahead and do the bear fat, shall we? That'll work just fine.
I don't condone this.
But the moment you get that other stuff in stock, you know, I'll make sure to come back.
Yes, naturally. And yeah, he will. So what, you having a price up?
So I would like to have him give me estimates of value for the eyes.
Oh,
teeth,
these eyes. Somewhat
acid.
cloudy already, and it's what creature you say? What did they tell you this was from?
I harvested it myself from a young green dragon.
I think there is every chance, perhaps not to cast aspersions on your abilities as a dragon slayer. This would appear to perhaps be more akin to the eye of a giant snake. I doubt that this would contain the applications that you would expect from use of dragon-related potions. It may in fact be more of just, did it have wings, or did it strike from beneath the waters of a swamp, or deeper than a cave? I really don't think that this is dragon eye. You obviously, as you will, I would value this.
So if it were, though.
Oh, if it were, it would be of a value of around 30 to 40 gold per eye. But as it is, I imagine this is more a handful of silver, and that's as one professional respecting another.
Right. So what would you value a young green dragon's liver at?
Well, this would depend on the size and weight of the dragon. I mean, many people are under the mistaken impression that dragons are all very much the same, but dragons, even within their various stages of life, can be of different hefts and carriages and weights and strength. And, of course, we all have very different diets. Some dragons walk as mortals and spend great deals of time drinking in taverns, which has an effect on things such as the liver. I once spent an entire afternoon drinking with a marvelous cobalt dragon who claimed to be from the ruins of Neveril, if you will, and I was certainly several hours of intense drinking, but I imagine if that was the habit he kept most of the time, which he claimed in his travels it would have certainly impacted the state of his liver compared to, say, a red dragon living in a volcano who had never touched so much as a drop of fire whiskey in its life. So anything from around a gold to 1,000 gold, depending on the size, weight, the lifestyle, the diet.
All right. Well, then don't worry about all that. Just those items on that list, please.
Now, you have here... What bulb was it you had on your list? I forgot my name of my own herb.
Glimmer bulb.
Now, I imagine I'm quite sure here that you meant to write shimmer bulb, yes?
No.
What use are you using for glimmer bulb?
For glimmer bulb, I am using it for light in a bottle.
Good. Did you say light in a bottle? No. Shimmer bulb. I'm quite sure it's shimmer bulb, but you'll be
Do you
wanting
have shimmer bulb in stock?
I do, yes. I have shimmer bulb, and he takes an entirely different looking plant. Conveniently for you, same price. But
do you not have any glimmer bulb as well?
I do have glimmer bulb, but that's used in very few, very specific potions. It's normally used as an antidote or a fertilizer.
I found that it works great in this potion, so it might just be a new school of alchemy.
Very well, new school of alchemy. Okay, so glimmer bulb and shimmer bulb. We'll pack those up together. Okay, yes. Anything else? Oh, I have the list.
You're wanting me to take the shimmer as well, then, or
I'm confident that you'll find that it actually works better when you come to make your potion. Speaking with decades of experience as Athkatla's most prominent and respected alchemist.
Cool. Just the rest on that list, please. No substitutions for anything else.
No, naturally, of course. It's quality of service is how I got where I am. Yes, the rest of this will be doable. Yes, and it takes about 35 minutes as he bags up and boxes and rambles. To your credit, like everybody else, I will give you inspiration for trying to dominate the conversation with Agrippa. Like everybody else, you failed, but you tried. So please give yourself inspiration.
Thank you.
But yeah, you can fill your. I'm guessing you're not selling anything to him. You're just buying.
Not selling anything to this guy.
All those components, 4 gold for the amount of components you're purchasing.
Sweet.
Please tick off 4 gold.
Do you happen to have mercury?
Mercury? Oh, I could say mercury. That is a delicacy. It's not yet been invented.
The element has not been invented.
Mercury is used in extremely obscure situations, certainly not in a potion. The quickest way to turn one's insides to stone and one's mind to madness. The great emperors of the past were, several of them, the most demented, was said to bathe in mercury, did you know, in their temples, which they believed heightened their senses and brought them closer to the gods. This would not have been the case. I do not have any mercury, short of you knowing a powerful magus with the need to have mercury. I would say your best bet would be finding it in old religious tombs, old lost temples of bygone ages that, thank you for getting the reference, Luca, that would have used it for these rituals. If you have any means or contacts who could point you in the direction of old ruins of temples seeking exploration and delving, then I would say that should be your first port of call. I myself am not really aware of any in the region. They have been thoroughly explored, but if you begin to head further into you may find... My understanding is there are a number of old temples lost, buried throughout the land, all in service to a monitor, who, as I'm sure you will know, fell from grace when he died, before a time passed and he would be reborn as Lathander, who we are all, of course, familiar with. But the temples to a monitor, although similar in purpose and clergy, have fallen into obscurity, and in many cases, deep curses, due to, naturally, the shadowy and terrible nature by which that deity met his end. But of course, that was before my time, and indeed before yours or any of ours.
I'm just gonna pat Obsidian on the shoulder and start heading out. My business is done.
Is that all?
Yes.
Obsidian's just listening like, yeah, it's interesting.
Well, thank you then. I'll see to that. I have a few leads. So, if I understand correctly, you do not have an interest in it.
No.
Good. Goodbye then.
Not required for me. Okay. Meanwhile, Atticus and Cire are walking to a bathhouse. Is there any conversation you wish to have on the way as you navigate these bustling streets?
You know, I was meaning to ask, just before we left for the dragon slaying mission, as Clem would say, um, we saw that weird flying cat thing, and it gave you a letter. What was that all about? I'm sure you were like, should we deal with this now, or shall we talk about it later? Well, later is here.
It was a letter addressed to me.
Mm-hmm.
I take it you wish to know the contents.
I mean, I got the impression that the contents might pertain to both or all of us.
Not all of us, no. Mostly you.
My timing could not be more unfortunate, could it not? You hear...
Is that in my head?
No, you hear a voice behind you both as you're walking along. The moment you chose this is astounding. I will add the others to the scene so they can see.
Can you see the letter in the is it available to you, Monkey?
Available
or is
where?
it
it's in
Is
your
that just
it's in just your personal inventory. He's never seen it, I don't think.
I just didn't know how
Unless
Simple
you-
Quest works.
Unless you put it in the Google Doc. No, I made it so only
No.
I made it so only you can see it.
Okay, excellent.
So he has not seen it. But yeah, you hear a voice behind you walking along, and armoured but not wearing his helmet, sword and shield down at his sides, is Janos.
Janos, your timing, impeccable. It's
I intended to speak to you outside of the smithy. A contact of mine informed me you had returned back to the Adventurers Guild and sought me out, but then you seemed to separate. Then I thought, now is the time.
Good day. Are you well?
That remains to be seen. Have you spoken in any way to your brother about the words we exchanged, Ciri?
It would appear not.
That is actually incorrect. I did tell you Janos was a friend of father's. The words we exchanged in your house, I relate to my brother. The letter you wrote to me. I had no chance. We were hunting a great evil, a green dragon that my brother helped to slay, and so protecting a great amount of innocent people. He acted with valor and courage, putting the safety of us first and confronting the dragon head on. I'm proud of him.
Then why don't you sound like it?
I have been told I have a strange accent. It is not lack of pride you hear my voice, it is concern and worry for what comes next.
Indeed, as well you should be. Atticus, you're corrupt. Drunk on promises. Promises that always come with a heavy price. I know this. I have struck down many in my years, often stood side by side with your dear father, whom I hold in great esteem. But you are taking an easy path. Easy to access, heavy and tall. I wrote to your sister. I understand you applied in the past to the Order and were found unsuitable by whatever men and women were in charge at the time.
One way of putting it, I suppose.
Indeed. Swallow your hubris and indignation for a moment or two, if you will indulge me. Let me speak to the man, not the bravado, not the weighty expectations and sense of pressure. I wrote to your sister. I love your father and your dear mother and your family. If you are interested in the right path, the harder path, and not whatever has been offered to you now with a cost to be extolled later, I can break you down and build you into a true paladin, worthy of what you sought out in the past. Or you can continue on your current path. The power is there and evident, clearly. We both saw it. It wasn't enough, but we saw it. It came. Please.
True. You are correct. My vision was clouded. But I am feeling far more myself, and you're correct that following in my father's footsteps has always been my, I don't know if goal is the right word, but the path that I felt that I should follow. And coming from someone as esteemed as yourself, and especially in association with my father, I would be most honored for your tutelage.
So here's the thing, because you could be, depending on what you're saying now, there's multiple things going on. Are you lying to him? Because obviously, if you are, you need to make a check. But if you're not lying to him and Atticus is being earnest, then obviously somebody else will be aware of this. So one way or another, I need to know if you're bullshitting or not.
Then you will see a message
Yeah.
very shortly.
Yeah.
Syria is sort of positioning herself close to her brother, hopefully in a sign of support and loyalty, and just so he doesn't feel alone in this moment.
So that's in character, but I obviously need to know what's going on out of character in the DM. Oh, or did you send it in?
It is in Foundry.
It has not come through to me. No,
Okay.
No DM.
Hang on one second.
Oh, I see your channel has popped up. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I saw that. So is that my answer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. He and did my insight check come up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he nods slowly to say, words are easy. Action is where you will prove yourself here.
Understood.
It will take time. I will come to you again. Good day.
Thank you,
Good day.
Sir Fargam.
We will see. Good intent now often waves in the face of a promise later. Whatever creature has a hold over your brother, if it is the one I suspect it is, no sooner will my back be turned than further promises will be trickled into his ear. I am hopeful, but I've been in this situation enough to know that another attempt from him could come any day now. And
My brother's made of the strongest of metals.
he's walking. I am sure you think so. And yeah, he heads off, leaving the two of you in the street.
What as soon as he's out of earshot, I'm like, Sire, what the fuck did that letter say?
It said what is just transpired. He just wished for the opportunity to talk to you, to tell you that your path lies with Torn. The path of the paladin, the path of the righteous, the path of strength, of courage, of honor, and that he wished
Of
to
course.
teach you. And well,
I'm
then
very
that's
surprised
what
that he
happened.
wants to teach me. That's crazy.
Why wouldn't he? You are made.
I don't suppose that he would ever have trusted me again, frankly. I was meaning once we got back to, at least go over there and apologize again, but seems like he found us before I had the chance.
I think he holds a lot of love for father and mother, and I guess for you. And I think, despite past experiences, he's willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Seems so. Oh, he was a bit of an asshole about it.
Atticus, how did you come in contact with this, whatever it is that is channeling its powers through you?
Don't really know what you're talking about.
The hyena that pops out of nowhere smelling of sulfur?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That is a strange one. But I guess that's just my innate kind of magic. Speaking of which, that thing that you can do
you
where
understand?
you grab things like with an invisible force. I've been practicing and I can do a similar thing now. I would show you now, but you know what the rules in Athkatla. But when we're in like a room and no one can see, I'll show you. I've been copying what you do, and I think I can do the same thing now as well. It's pretty
But
cool.
Atticus, that's not what I do. I don't do that. Curatoro does that. That's not me. That's not my power.
Are you sure? Because it
very sure.
looks like you do it.
I do not. We work as one.
I mean, who knows where the self ends and something else begins,
That is true. But you are trying to pull a wool over my eyes, and I will not have it. Janos said your power comes from an entity. He said it right there. We were both here.
Yeah, but how does he know? I don't know where it comes from.
But he's told you.
If there is a force watching over me, then it's out of my control. But I will do what I can to, prove myself.
I can't remember if in or out of character you're both forgetting. Was only Atticus? Did only Atticus speak to the fat tiefling? Or were the others in the room?
I wasn't there.
Were you not? Okay, because the fat tiefling outright stated the connection.
Okay.
I couldn't remember how much everyone knew, to be honest.
Okay.
No, but there's Janos said to see that he's seen the signs before and that he recognized a lot of the things that Atticus was doing as signs of like pact magic. And legitimately a second ago he was just like, you're taking the easy path. Like he's referencing the fact that there's been a demonic, pact, which is what he told her in the house. And then Sira told Atticus, saying, Janos thinks you have done this. And Atticus was like, mm.
Look, if the power that I have gained somehow turns out to be demonic in nature, then I'm sure Janos will help me oust it.
I think it will require to be ousted if you are to follow in his training.
And then that's what we shall do. And we will replace it with the love of Torm in our hearts.
Okay, I need to do an insight check.
He says it with a fully straight face.
Okay.
Are you inciting?
I feel look, I'm here with you. I've made mistakes in the past and then had the good fortune to be able to walk away and change the path. This is your opportunity to do the same.
I appreciate that you're here for me during this time. And, if someone has to perform an exorcism on me, then there's no one I'd rather be by my side.
Besides, I don't have innate magic.
Sire, look, I don't understand it, but there's always been this thing around you, not around you, but your aura and who your real parents, not real, but who your birth parents are, your ancestry, It's like the elves. The elves, they somehow have innate magic. It's the same kind of thing, but slightly more from the circle of the heavens, plain touch or something. I don't know.
God, your Agrippa game is shite compared to mine.
Well, Atticus also doesn't understand any of it.
But your ancestry, our parents, they're the noblest of beings. Their hearts are pure, their muscles strong, their will relentless, and their spirit and goodness. What else do you aspire than just to be a worthy child of such parents?
Of course I aspire to that. What else would I aspire to? You've seen how demanding father of is. Do you think he'll ever be happy with our progress? I think I could be head of the Order of the Radiant Heart. I'm still not sure he would be proud of me.
But you would be.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Okay, you need a bath, you stink.
I do not stink, thanks to your wonderful clothes.
I must make you some lower half undergarments, clearly, because your feet, I can smell them from here.
I mean, and I am tall.
Strangest and most concerning way of saying socks.
I backtracked from that.
Come on, let's head to the bathhouse and get steamed.
Okay. So, they head to the bathhouse. Afterwards, everyone, I imagine, meets for dinner. After which, Obsidian toils the night away in the Forge of Legends. Our next session will pick up the following morning. Obsidian having pulled an all-nighter and not getting a rest, but having a nice item to show for it. And you all having one more day before you receive your deputization hey, we needed a side mission, let's all kind of be chill about time and please sort of pass and head off towards trade meet. What I'd like you all
Actually-
to do... Oh, okay, go on.
Sorry, just because it seems because I Siri did want to get that new tattoo on herself, but she'll split it because she doesn't need to do this 8 hours at a time. So she'll start the design and rest.
Okay. Yeah, so you start off, give me the details of that in your channel, remember which one it is. But yeah, what I'd like you all to do is have a think about what you'd like to do in the next day in the city, and let me know in the next couple of days so I can have it prepped. And then, yeah, we'll have another day in the city, and then we'll set off on the next stage of your adventure. But yeah, that is where we will call it today after a good, busy shopping and social session. Thank you very much, everybody, and we will be back next week. Catch you later.